And welcome back for another round of Guess That Deity! Inspired by this comment here, I am going to do a ritual invocation. By the way I'm setting it up, I want you, dear viewers, to let me know if you can guess who I'm calling upon. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hiya! As a personal preference, I like to get dressed for the occasion. Couple of reasons for that. One, it gets me in the mood. If I'm wearing something that makes me feel empowered and in line with the type of energy I'm trying to invoke, it gets my mind primed and ready to go. Second reason, if you're invoking a whole-ass god, and you're in a pair of sweats and a mustard-stained t-shirt, that's not letting any god know that you're taking this seriously. Now, people have laid-back, informal relationships with divinity, and that's fine. But if you show up ready for business, when they show up, they will know that you're ready for business. This simply will not do. And there we go. Much better. Now, because of the type of deity this is, not only because of their form and function, but because of the religion of origin itself, there's an emphasis on ritual cleanliness. Frankincense is a perfect smoke cleansing to rid spiritual contaminants. Now that we've got that set up, sometimes running water or specially charged water can help add to the cleansing of surfaces. What I've got here is Rose of Jericho water. I'm going to pour some of it over my hands, and while I'm at it, I'm also going to wipe down my face and maybe even my neck. You can also use the cleansing water to wipe down your altar space or workspace. That part is optional, but definitely helpful. Now that I'm nice and dry, I'm thinking offerings. If a deity is coming all this way to talk to you, it's always nice to greet them with something, even if all you have is a snack or water for that matter. However, I am privileged enough to be in possession of a couple of things I know this deity will enjoy. Typically you want a burnt offering, which I've already got covered with the frankincense. For this type of spirit, you can also use bay leaves, aka laurel. Typically there's also some kind of liquid libation. Water, wine, liquor, coffee, any of them are acceptable. I, however, am utilizing some tea that I know this deity enjoys. And I am making note of the type of tea because I've learned this flavor as preferable to this god, courtesy of my own direct first-hand experience, which means offerings courtesy of your UPG is also valid. While I'm waiting for my water to boil, let's check in. If you've guessed so far that this is a Greek god that I am calling upon, good job, you're absolutely correct. A lot of this is based on a reconstruction of ancient Greek religion, but it is very much modernized, because I'm working with what I got. And now that we've got liquid libation set up, other offerings have been laid out. My space, as well as myself, have been acceptably cleansed. Now we read aloud their Orphic hymn. Now is time for the reveal. Let me know if you guessed accurately. Pluton, magnanimous, whose realms profound are fixed beneath the firm and solid ground, in the Tartarian plains remote from sight, and wrapped forever in the depths of night. Zeus Catonios, thy sacred ear inclined, please accept these sacred rites divine. Earth's keys to thee, illustrious king, belong, its secret gates unlocking deep and strong. 'Tis thine annual abundant fruits to bear, for needy mortals are thy constant care. To thee, great king, all sovereign earth assigned, the seat of the gods and basis of mankind. Thy throne is fixed in Hades' dismal plains, distant and unknown to the rest where darkness reigns. Where destitute of breath pale spectres dwell, in endless dire inexorable hell, and in dread Acheron, whose depths obscure earth's stable roots eternally secure. O mighty God, whose decisions dread the future fate determines of the dead, with Demeter's girl captive, through the grass plains, drawn in a four-yoked car with loosened reins, wrapped over the deep, impelled by love you flew, till Eleusinia's city you rose to view. There in a wondrous cave obscure and deep, the sacred maid secure from search you keep. The cave of Attis, whose wide gates display an entrance to the kingdoms void of day, of works unseen, and thy power alone to be the great dispending source is known. All ruling, all holy God with glory bright, these sacred poets in their hymns delight. Propitious too the mystics' works incline, in rejoicing, come, for holy rites are thine. And if you've done it correctly, and the god has accepted this ritual display, the energy will shift. Sometimes you can feel the pressure change in the room. And if you are clairaudient, or some kind of medium, wait for them to speak to you first. And since Hades is a catonic deity, make sure not to share offering with him, unless you're familiar with the miasma of the dead. And when he departs, make sure to cleanse again. Now, if you'll excuse me, the king is waiting. Hey, yo, Pops! Help me score a bottle and I'll share. Of course it's because I need help with money. Let's go get caught up. Thank you for the excuse to share, and until next time, take care and much love. I see that 1,000-yard stare. What's going on? Is there anything in that bottle you're holding there? This? Nah. It's just an emotional support bottle. Now tell me what's up. I was testing a hypothesis earlier. Anytime I make a video about Hades, interaction plummets. So I asked myself the question, what would happen if I invoked him, but didn't use his hashtags? And what did we deduce, dear Sherlock? That it doesn't fucking matter. Any Hades-related video is pretty much stagnant. What are you trying to get his attention for anyway? The only type of magic that I cast that doesn't seem to work is money magic. And you thought he could help? Not necessarily. But in the very least, if I called on him properly, I would get some answers. Sounds like you got a blockage, and more than one. Tell me, how many times have you invoked Persephone in her Praxidike aspect? The enactor of justice. Not gonna lie, not many times recently. However, in history, countless. And Hades' epithet Pluton means the wealthy one. All it means is that he's wealthy. It doesn't mean he's gonna share it with you. You have an incredible point. Now tell me, which planets have you been working with? Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn and Jupiter. Of these two clues here, which one is Persephone associated with? That'd be Saturn, representing time, fate, and death. And of Jupiter. Big ideas, big leadership, growth, abundance, expansion, which includes finances. Now, if we go like this, and we've got our Saturn, bring this up like this, we've got a combination of Saturn and Jupiter. Tell me, doesn't Persephone have a Pluto de Tierra aspect? The redistributor of wealth? The grantor of wealth? You got a fucking point right there. So as it were, if you like what we do here, consider contributing to the growth of our channel. Holy shit, do you think this will work? One way to find out. Oh god, that's Jericho water. I'm just gonna set that over there. By the way, I thought you were done with these interaction videos. Are you a deity? No. Are you a headmate? Also no. So it looks like I'm talking to myself. Yeah, but which part though? My mind is a broken, treacherous labyrinth. Your guess is as good as mine. Fair enough. But before I go... Go on. Try properly invoking Persephone. Praxidike or Pluto de Tierra. She's the one that probably blocked you from Hades. Rather, blocked him from you. And she probably had a damn good reason. Thanks. Good thinking, me. Guess that's the end of the video. If you like what we do here, please consider supporting the channel. Please and thank you. Pardon me as I fail to do two things at once. First, this comment. Yes, the Greek gods are huge on ritual cleanliness. I made a video not too long before this one, where I'm talking all about miasma and why ritual cleanliness was seen as necessary. Which leads me into the second part of this video. I'm about to invoke, rather call upon, the biggest stickler in the pantheon for ritual cleanliness and proper praxis. I feel like the height of that flame is a good sign. Join me as I do ritual for Zeus. As I said yesterday in this video here, I like to dress for the occasion in preparation. Okay, I thought this was going to be cute, but it's just in my way. Casual laid-back relationships with divinity are fine, but if you show up ready for business, the deity will know that you're ready for business. This will not do. Oh yeah, that's much better. Like I said yesterday, I like to dress in a way that is in line with the energy that I'm preparing for, and I look like an anime schoolboy. It's semi-professional, not my usual strictly black, but it is wrinkled to high hell, because I need to assert dominance in ways that I know I can. Now typically I'd use Kieranup's water, aka lustral water, but what I've got available is Rose of Jericho water. It still cleanses, and that's the most important part. I'm just gonna run it on my hands, and then also a bit on my face. Making all of the attempts to make sure that this doesn't turn into a wet t-shirt contest that literally nobody asked for. I'm going to keep my hair up. For some reason it just feels a little bit more proper, but at the same time this is the point in which if I were to choose to, I would veil. Again, this is what I got, and it's what I'm working with. Now this is something I do as a personal aside. It's not reconstruction or even UPG, but I'm gonna write his name in a horrible approximation to ancient Greek, because I'm doing my best. Offerings. Here you can put any number of things, cause liquid libations. Sometimes you can give whiskey, which is a common UPG. In my experience, he enjoys slow and low rock and rye. Wine is also abundantly acceptable amongst most of the Greek gods. Today, however, I'm choosing storm water. And just in case it's not fitting his fancy for consumption today, I am preparing Mike's Harder Lemonade. I saw the lightning bolt in the yellow and thought that it would be fitting. And a spot of tobacco has never gone wrong with any deity I've encountered. Some death gods get weird about it though, because smoking kills and all. Oh, it's raining. Looks like that wet t-shirt contest that nobody asked for is gonna happen anyway. The irony that it starts raining while I'm getting prepared to invoke Zeus. Now, before I continue, this is going to look embarrassing. I know there are a lot of people that got weird feelings about Zeus. In the myths, he is categorized as quite a bit of a bastard, and that's unfortunate. Now, there are many reasons why this has come to pass. It was a different time and a different place. The Romans wanted to make the Greeks look worse than they really were. But ultimately, there are two things that I want to invite people to consider. One, mythology is a small portion of this religion, and ancient Greek religion is orthopraxic, not orthodoxic, which means there's an emphasis on doing over believing. With that being said, the second thing, in the way that Zeus was worshipped and revered and understood, he's a protector of homes. He's an enforcer of hospitality and justice. Not in all instances, but most that I've come across. Zeus is revered as an oftentimes stern and harsh, but albeit loving fatherly figure. And don't get me wrong, I've had my own personal grievances with him in my own relationship with him. But in times when I have no idea what else to do or where to go, Zeus usually comes through. So if you don't like him, that's totally fine. I just wish people would understand more before participating in what can only best be described as slander. And if nothing else, don't give shit to people who do work with or worship Zeus. There's several reasons why he's the head of the pantheon. Now, let's go finish this up. We've got offerings set up. We've cleansed. Sometimes snacks or treats are also delightful. Remember, with Zeus, hospitality is key. I almost forgot one thing. Frankincense. Perfect both as a burnt offering as well as cleansing. Frankincense is a fairly universal offering for any and all Greek gods. Only one thing left to do. Zeus, highly honored invincible god, we offer our prayers, redeemer and cleanser. Basilios, whose crown brings light to all that is divine and clear. Mother Earth and towering mountains and the sea and swirling stars array themselves in harmony beneath your thundering scepter. Saturnian Jove, come clothed in the lightning. Strong-hearted God, come wielding thunder. Uniter, creator, beginning and end. Pantocrator, father, increaser, world shaker. purifying, nourishing, hear us, God, sustaining life with many forms. May you grant us spotless health, and with Irene on your arm, grant peace and wealth and cheerful honor. Shit. Bay leaves, also known popularly as laurel. Dude loves the scent of burnt bay leaves. And there we go. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go enjoy some wine and talk about some important things about my future with Zeus and Persephone. Thank you for the excuse to share, and until next time, take care and much love. Ethan, long time no talk. Because I missed you, why do you ask? Well, thank you so much. Is this one for me? I admire and appreciate your hospitality. Is this some kind of joke? Because I remember the last kit we did together. What? No, it means you picked perfectly. I love it. Thank you. Perfect. Say, I gotta ask, do you got any Merlot laying around? Thank you, Ethan. I will make sure to repay you. Is she gone? All right, there's gonna be something better here laying around somewhere. Oh, much better. Do you know the last time I got to let loose in the mortal world? It's been a while. Let me tell you what. They didn't grow tobacco like this back in the old days. What do you mean this is the cheap shit? You mean to tell me that there's better than this? You think if I helped Ethan with some of the good shit she would share? I can only imagine what the good tobacco might feel like. Ethan, welcome back. No. Thank you, dear Ethan, for the Merlot. Don't worry, Persephone had everything taken care of while you were away. Oh, so you did talk to Hermes. Very good, very good. You know, Hermes can help in the realm of trade and commerce, as well as thievery, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sorry, Hades did what? I'm going to need to look into this. Thank you, Persephone. Thank you. This is a complete record of everything that's happened before and after the Deity series. Some things I was aware of, other things I was not. Suffice it to say, there's a reason I'm the king of the gods, right? Of course I fell on deaf ears. Either way, we will get right to this. Oh. Thank you again, Persephone. Now, what do we have here? And Aphrodite received a copy of this already. What in the hell is going on here? My apologies. Call me a transformer, because more is going on here than meets the eye. Tonight, we wine and dine and be merry. Dionysos, where are you? And as we go along, let us talk. Deity interactions be damned. Let's go! Time for another personal rant. I am desperate and I am scared. So yesterday I called on Zeus, asking for help. Afterward, I made a fun little skit video, trying to take a little bit of the edge off from being desperate and scared. 300 views, 50 likes, 3 comments. Woke up at 2:30 in the morning, and I decided to take it down. Because one of those comments said, I'm very confused by this video. And because I am desperate and scared, I took it down. It's too akin to the Deity interaction videos. It was supposed to be fun, but then at the end took a serious turn, and I wasn't super invested in it. This is all preface, pointing out my own patterns of behavior, being desperate and scared. Why am I desperate and scared? Because some way, somehow, last month's rent did not go through. Now within 30 days, we've got to come up with a number that starts with a 2 and is followed by a comma. But now I'm angry, because I've been here before. Events leading up to moving. I had to come up with $5,000 to try and stay at the place we were staying at, could not do it, and then we moved. And before that, we spent months without a vehicle because we couldn't save enough money until the very last second to fix the car. I can go down a series of events of the last 12 years of my life, and it's something like this. Can't blame internet witches because it's been going on since before that. Could blame the government and the economy, but that's like pissing into the wind. And I've got a little voice in my head from the internet telling me that, oh, you shouldn't share so much information, don't make yourself vulnerable. That's my entire brand, you dick breath. And I'm not sure if you noticed this about me, but I vent to the internet about things that are relatable. Maybe not to everybody, but a lot of people will hear what I'm saying and go, me too. And I'm sure situations like this is something that far too many people are all too familiar with. But the thing that's getting me right now is that my On This Day video from 2 years ago was a rant like this one, where I'm talking about how my life feels like a cosmic joke that I don't get the punchline. Talking a little bit about being a DID system, not knowing what to say in times where you need to say something. And by the time you get to the top of a mountain, you look down and see a fire. Do you stay on the mountain, or do you rush down to warn people? My fire is still burning, and I am pissed. I don't want to keep doing this. When is something going to fucking give? Is there a point in me pointing to the thingy? Not by the fault of my wonderful viewers, but just looking at times past, recent events, where no matter how hard I fucking try, things don't pan out. And I'm sick of it. Because if you're 555, I'm 666, extra 6, devil horns. You really must be desperate. Excellent deduction, dear mistress. Is that for me? I was definitely planning on sharing. 2.5K. Exactly half of what was needed last time. The math is mathing. And the patterns are patterning. And I see you've been working Saturnian energy. Got a taste for it after working Satariel back in February. Did you miss this? I missed making the content. I didn't miss putting up with the bullshit. And now that you've found a way out and even taken down your deity interaction videos, it hasn't stopped. Wise student. Trixie Hobbit. I want to hear you say it. I'm sorry, Lilith, you were right about a lot of things. Please help, I miss you. I accept and you are forgiven. You need money. Well, that one's new and different. Yes, I've been changing some things up. You've been hard at work, I see. I learned from the best. If you like what we do here, please consider supporting the channel. Remember, this is the new thingy. Same accounts, new usernames. The old information is null and void. Please and thank you. About time I get out of this mirror and get to work. Oh, meat suits, it's been a while. And you know how this goes. Let's get to work.
Oh, hey, Laura.
Ethan, are you well? Never, why do you ask? Because you felt proud taking those videos down. Now here you are making more. Then call me a hypocrite, I suppose. That's not what I was trying to lead you to. Do you trust me? But of course, always have. Then I'm gonna ask you to have faith in me this time. Because I'm not even tagging you, that's not the point. What I need is a sounding board. Then consider my disbelief suspended. My favorite planet to work with is Saturn. Got a couple of symbols for this bad boy here. And I'm pretty sure these are actually the same symbol, just in a different dialect or font. And you would be very correct. Then I start working with Jupiter. Is that why you've come to favor this mirror? Because you can draw on it? That's a part of it. This morning, this dear commenter reminded me that Jupiter and Saturn are squared. And I'm pretty sure now thinking about it, either one or both of them are in retrograde. At least one. Then I start working with a combined symbol. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Short, sweet, to the point. I must applaud the innovation. This leads me to a couple of questions. First of all, why do retrogrades affect me differently? People talk about experiencing turbulence, turmoil, upheaval, big tower energy. Historically for me, retrogrades are when I get my best work done. Perhaps the reason that people have that experience is because they've set themselves up for it. That experience is more gab than gift. If you expect something to happen a certain way, that's the results you're going to receive. And I don't have those expectations. I think there you definitely got it. Second thing, what am I missing? I need this to work. I don't have many other options. And the situations I find myself in are fucked, and I'm sick of it. Feeling very similar to the events leading up to the Deity series, and I'm not fucking doing that again. Is that why you're doing this instead? No, it's because if I talk to you, I'm not just talking to the audience. This certainly isn't a middle ground or a compromise. So then why come back to doing this? Like I said, I need this to work. Which is why I think the missing piece is Mercury. All right, this I want to hear. Mercury is the planet of communication, the relay of information. If something's getting messed with or staunched, that can certainly help. When we're talking about deities, Mercury is the Roman equivalent to Hermes, who is the god of trade, commerce, as well as thieves. Or, illegal trade and commerce. So the flow of business regardless of what it is. And if I want this to be my business, Mercury will probably help. Look at you go. Looks like we got something to work with after all. Now to try something. If you like what we do here, please consider supporting the channel. Or just interact, that'd be cool too. I tried making a video explaining why I stopped using PayPal, and it got stuck in processing purgatory. And I don't know if the two things are related, but this is the first video that I've made since that one. And for some reason I've got an older version of the recording screen. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. But apparently, if you use the names of one too many money apps one too many times, Klokapp don't like that. I'm frustrated. I don't know if that video will go up. I ain't give up on it yet. But this is part of the frustration that I keep venting about. It's almost like this game is rigged, set up to make you lose, if you don't do things in a very specific particular way. And we're left to play guessing games to try and figure it out. If you're still here, I want to thank you for listening. And until next time, take care and much love. Remember how I said yesterday it wasn't about you? I don't know if that's exactly what you said, but yes. Yeah, today is a little bit different, but we're using Saturn to get there. Okay, go ahead. Saturn. This is probably the most popular symbol for Saturn, which is also the basis for Queen Lilith's symbol. Yeah, I'm not sure how more people don't notice that. Now we've got this one here, slightly resembling a sickle. Because Saturn, in deity speak, is the Roman version of Kronos, your grandfather. And his symbol was the sickle, another tool for harvesting. Precisely because before he became associated with time, he was an agriculture god. Then the distinction was made between the Titans and the Olympians, and it wasn't until after that Kronos became associated with the all-consuming passage of time. And all things that grow will eventually need to be reaped. Which is how reapers and death became part and parcel. Also, at a certain time period, Saturn was the last known planet in the sky. Saturn was the boundary between our solar system and the rest of outer space. May I try to keep you on track? Oh, right. These are actually the same symbol. In a not too different way how this Greek letter alpha eventually became this letter A. They are ultimately the same thing. These are the same way. And we can see it in a sort of progression of symbols here. This Saturn symbol evolved along this course to become this Saturn symbol. That one's not as easy to pick up on, but I'm not surprised that you did. Before I get carried away, these are the same symbol. If I take this one and flip it upside down, then I add one more thing. I don't know when that symbol became associated with yourself, but a lot of people use this contemporarily to honor Queen Persephone. I am my mother's daughter, a reaper in many ways. You are a fate weaver. So it looks like you are your father's daughter as well, and I say that with respect, for Zeus is the commander of fate. So now what? A lot of things make sense. About me, my practice, you, and my oftentimes turbulent relationship with you. That can be interpreted in so many different ways. Of course it is. It's supposed to be. Because if I say too much now, I could be wrong and make things worse for myself. In the meantime, it's Friday, my dudes. Please consider the thingy. Till next time, take care and much love. Gotta say, I didn't expect this. Agati Klokapp. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The spinner of fate. Is this call for business or leisure? I've got Jim Beam. Feeling nostalgic? You've been working Saturn. And Jupiter. Drink? What's up? I'm working Saturn. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm wiser, more experienced, and more learned than I was 2 years ago. So you are feeling nostalgic? The opposite of nostalgic. Traumatized. August 30th is 2 years. And around 2 years ago today, somebody wanted me to be suspicious of you. You weren't in the first part of the Deity series. Which implies the same is going on now. Which implies the patterns are patterning. I like Lilith, but she is the queen of the demons. I'd be naive to trust her at face value. Suppose that answers that question. You're not. Working with Lilith? No. I called on her to suss the situation out. And although she passed the vibe check, I did glean that more was going on. You play a dangerous game. Lilith was right about one thing. Things are going to happen whether I participate or not. And I was never the one that put myself on the playing board. But I'm not out for revenge. This isn't business. I'm not working a case. This is personal. I'm tired of the things that I wind up in. And I aim to change my fate. You clever bastard, you. It doesn't matter if I help you. Me being here, even if temporary, is more than enough. You're correct about that. One thing on the contrary, though. I would like to be able to work with you. You're the Titan goddess of liminality. You have a way of helping to fill in the missing pieces. How would I get to earn that privilege? Don't fuck up. Keep Hades and all of the demons out. Rather, help Persephone do that. And don't make me regret this. Regret what exactly? Spoiler, sweetie. Sticking around for another round? It would be an honor and a privilege. Ooh, don't gush too much. People might start calling psychosis again. Let's get out of here. God, I need a fucking drink. Perhaps I could be of assistance. Your Majesty, I am amused how you're also acclimating to the changing conditions. To be fair, Horatio. Boy, you haven't called me that in a while. I forgot I wasn't supposed to. I'm electing to trudge past it, you were saying? Until recently. It had been a couple of months since you had last done these. I believe it hadn't been since the last location. I've been thinking about 2 years ago as well. I'm sorry, what? August 30th, 2022 was when the Deity series started. A lot of events leading up to that is why I thought it was a good idea. You called me Horatio during the Deity series, and it was how I could tell it was you. I've been thinking of ways to not repeat the same mistakes. Well, rest assured I won't let it, because I try to learn from mine. I've been thinking about fate a lot. I don't believe in predetermination, but I do believe in the web of consequences laid out by our actions and inactions. And hindsight is always 20/20. And what has your clear vision granted you? Somebody really doesn't want me working with you. After the Deity series, you were left looking suspicious. Let's call it PDS, post-Deity series. Eventually you got wedged out. And almost as if to replace you functionally, Queen Nama steps in. Convenient. She wasn't a part of the Deity series. I got strung down a whole, I guess we could call it story arc, where I humored the idea of past lives. Joke's on me, because I don't have any. So we've gone from October of 22 to Christmas of 22. At the time, I'm drinking a lot. Until January 19th, I decide to go sober. I had a horrendous meltdown whilst intoxicated the night before, and immediately following was the feral era. So we'll make that the next step. Sorry, 23. Feral era until you step in, rather Aries steps in, which leads me back to you. Honestly, I had wondered. I started to think, what if I'm not crazy? Humor the idea that it wasn't psychosis. What would that then entail? I made a video with you contemplating this very idea. All of a sudden, the dominoes fall over. You and I work together, tie off some loose ends, and somehow I get passed off to Samael and Lilith. I get pulled further away from you again. Belial comes back in. There's a whole bunch more Matrix metaphors. And somehow we end up reaching out back to Hades while watching Sandman. I start drifting back closer to you away from Nama, and then fucking Azazel pops in. I could go on and on and on, but it's like closest to you is not allowed. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes, because it identifies who I need to avoid and what patterns I need to quit repeating. I learned from my mistakes, and I don't want to keep repeating them. Then wouldn't proximity to me be one of those mistakes? To the contrary, Your Majesty, I think close proximity to you is exactly how I'm going to finally get some fucking answers. Huh. When you're right, you're right. It's late, Ethan. And we filmed at all hours of the night before. Would you like to join me down memory lane, Hecate? Where do we begin? The Deity series was started with a few key players. Persephone, Belial, Hades, and Lucifer. You had an opportunity to join, but courtesy of events leading up to that, it was difficult to trust you. When the Deity series first started, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing or what I was going to do with it. But I didn't want to just let the gods use me as a vessel, so I took the situation into my own hands. But there was a point down the road where you did come back. This was after I got far too close with King Belial, took a huge detour through Doth, and then Persephone sent you my way. Yes, ma'am, she did. And you and I would make a few videos together, talking about the basics, going over some theory. But there was one particular night where you had pulled me aside. It was late like it is now. And you talked about there being an egregore conflating yourself, Ereshkigal, and Lilith. How do you recall these things with such clarity? Probably something to do with the fact that I watched the videos over and over. I could also say trauma. Both are suitable answers. Thank you, but back to the point. As fate would have it, Lilith would step in, saying she wants to be closed. Then confusingly, said that it changes nothing about the devotees that she's already collected, but that she's not taking more applications. Which doesn't sound like closed to me, but it was enough for people to start getting their panties in a twist. I remember that, quite frankly. Then there was a whole thing with King Paimon, and I'm electing not to get into it now. But between myself, doing what I was doing, then claiming to channel Lilith, and that she wanted to be closed, then myself claiming that I was possessed by a demon king, then used fool's gold to remove him from me, well, that's when people started baring their teeth. You were set up. That's what I'm starting to suspect. Because immediately after that, Belial directs me to Hecate. Or was it Hecate? Lilith had said back in May of 2023 that there was a switcheroo between the two of you, and I wondered when. And it made me think that Persephone had set me up with Lilith. But if that was when the switcheroo happened, that means Persephone did no such thing. And by the time everything was said and done, the Deity series was over, I was cancelled, 8,000 people left my following. My faith was not only deeply shaken in Queen Persephone, but so too was my trust in you. Convenient! Because that left Hades to be the only thing standing between me and the wolves. And now after revealing all of this, if something happens to you, it proves me right. I could go for some bourbon. Could you go for some bourbon? Let's ask for help getting some bourbon. Ethan? Yes, ma'am. Holy shit, have I been losing weight? Yes, you have. When was the last time I changed? Holy shit. I'm sorry? There we go, that's much better. Did you change from one dirty shirt to another? Yes, but this one's less dirty. Plus I put on a bra. Oh, don't give me that look. There's not a laundromat on site and I slept through laundry day. May I get you back on track? What was the track? Oh, right, fate. Kati Klothai, the spinner of fate. I'm not sure if it's Clothier or Clothai, just like I'm not sure if that's Tomai or Tomie. Is that why you're wearing this shirt? I mean, probably, but it does remind me that I have lost a significant amount of weight. If... Oh, right. Please consider. Clothai, spinner of fate. You're already a death deity. That indicates... Hang on, I don't like it in blue. Hecate has Saturnian energy. This is Hecate's Saturnian aspect. For the win. You seem more eccentric than normal. I slept like shit last night. I am currently powered by espresso and spite. As you were? Is that more coffee? Yes, but it's not espresso. Fate. Fate. I don't believe in predetermination. I believe on the potential of possibilities based on the things that came before leading us into the future, as well as the intersection of actions that impact people both in macrocosm and microcosm. In other words, it's a big bag of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. So fate and time are intrinsically linked. Yes, inherently. But let's look at what I'm dealing with. What brings me to want to work fate? I knew it was going to be bright out. This week I've got to drive about 100 miles for various things related to my kid starting school. Shortly thereafter, his birthday's coming up. Somewhere in that vicinity, I've got to pay my $50 phone bill, and I'm just fucking sick and tired of winding up in situations, not just like this, but the one near the beginning of this playlist, where I'm saying we've got to pay 2 months' rent at the same time. And no matter what I do, it's 1 step forward and 2 to 5 steps back. Something has got to give. And clearly sitting on my ass isn't going to make that happen. Mundane routes are ineffective, and if I don't do something, I'm going to be the one that gives. And by going over the past events, you can ID who might be in your way. Precisely. And although things are getting better, I fear they won't be better enough in time. Which is why I need your help, Hecate. Let me see what I can do. If you like what we do here, please consider. King Zeus, can I bug you for a video? Certainly, Ethan. How can I be of assistance? I'm going down memory lane, reflecting. On the Deity series, I'm aware. You were the last deity that I talked to closing out the Deity series. You said some things that worried me. History repeats itself. Okay. The first time you were in the Deity series was at Persephone's behest. In hindsight, I feel as if it was to get me away from... The Infernal Divine? Yes. You were spending far too much time in the void. The living, much less mortals, aren't supposed to be there. Understood and agreed. However, I felt like I had nothing to lose, and I'm feeling very similarly now. Rather, I have plenty to lose. But if I don't do something, I will lose those things. And I am not doing that again. I guess my question is, what did I do to deserve this? I'm not enjoying the mirror. Ah, much better. You've done nothing to deserve this. What I feel has happened is that you trusted in deities that did not have your best interest in mind. They were banking on your naivete. What they didn't expect was your capacity to learn. And now that you don't meet their expectations, they seem to have a problem with it. Quite frankly, I think you're right. But what am I supposed to do? I can't keep living like this. How many times have I had to move while I've been uploading here? And it goes back to before this. And granted, there are mundane reasons as well. Mostly economic. But I can't help but feel that even if I climb out of this hole, there'll be another one waiting for me not too far down the line. So what's the point in fighting if I'm just going to wind up here again? And I just realized that when you snapped, you probably intend for there to be a thingy there. Don't worry about this video taking off. And who knows, it just might. But I know you've come to me out of desperation. Time is working against me, Diaz. Which means I have none to spare or waste. Real things are going on in my real life. And at this point, it feels as if magic, nor the gods can actually help. And there are other personal things going on that I already opened up to you about before filming. I've tried both mundane and magical avenues. At this point, I gotta ask, can you help? With certainty. Because enough is enough. And I'm on the job now. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Assist my works, conclude my life with peace, give graceful speech in me memories increase. Huh. Foolish mortal! You forgot the frankest. Did you just laugh at me? What an excellent display, O he who hold the gift of gab. Well, once upon a time, humans were impressed by these displays. We really should have taken the time to prepare a better filter before filming. Yeah, probably. Okay, why the lightning, though? Fast as fuck, boy! You said something about frankincense. So, Ethan, you understood my Orphic hymn? Oh my god, you're a comic book nerd. How did you conclude that? Hermes, also known as Mercury. Mercury, the element also known as Quicksilver. And you picked these sunglasses. Not too different from Scott Summers. How do you do that? Muffin button. So, my dad tells me you need help. Oh, friend of man and prophet of discourse. What a wonderful way of calling you a gossip. I prefer to call it the gift of gab. That makes sense. I'm noticing some other things in your Orphic hymn. Such as what, my learned friend? And I thought I was extra. Great life supporter to rejoice is thine, in arts, gymnastics, and in fraud divine. Could that have something to do with your association with thieves? Fishes gotta swim, birds gotta eat. And helping mortals get their needs is what I do, and I don't question the means. I respect the fuck out of that. And that tracks here with of care of the loosener and source of gain. My word, you are good at this. I've been studying ancient Greek religion for 4 years, which means I've got a wealth of knowledge to infer and deduce. And it seems you're already familiar with my associations. My jaw is having a hard time keeping up with you, so I'm surprised that my tongue is. Speech and language is my speciality. And with all of the confidence of General Kenobi, peak Clone Wars to boot, got it. Say, do you have any milk? Yeah, why? Because notes from my dad say you need help with cows. I'm sorry, what? Sorry, quick moolah. That one was a stretch even for me. Calcium. You know, I'm somewhat of a meme lord myself. Ha! See, there we go! You should use my hashtags in this one. Okay, but why? Because your fear of being accused of psychosis is holding you back. And people will see me doing my thing, entertaining you and your audience. And maybe more people will be able to see the consideration for the thingy. You know, I'll humor it this one time and see what happens. Oh good, oh good. Now thank you, Ethan, for the titty juice. And I will be off to collect you some coin. In the very least, attempts will be made. Toodles. This should be interesting. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Say, isn't this like the second one you've had today? Yeah, I needed to keep up with you, all due respect. You know, they say this is a dangerous offering to give me. To be frank, it's not an offering. I caught the same sick as my kid. At least your sphincter is unclenched a little bit. My brown eye has had the gorilla grip for a damn good reason. Several, actually. Oh, see, I knew you were good with words. I got the same sick as my kid, and we just ran out of children's Tylenol. I've got $1 to my name, and I used a couple of dollars from my money bowl to be able to afford this. Because although banter with you is delightful, Lord Hermes, it's actually so I can keep up with my kid. And that war is the gorilla grip poop shoot? Oh, I'm not done. Oh dear. I've got a week and a half to come up with over $2,000. That way we can continue staying here. And say we pull that off. My kid's birthday is shortly after that, as well as my phone bill being due. And suffice it to say, if you did shove a lump of coal up there, it would surely become a diamond by the time we got evicted. Maybe we should start calling it the 24-karat grip. I like that one. You know, Ethan, you used to use those as watermark for You know, Ethan, you used to use those as watermark for theft prevention. You know, we could have just taken out the last clip and tried again. There are no such thing as mistakes, only happy accidents. Oh my god, that's right. You're a god of the arts. And this is your art. I do emphasize that I'm an entertainer for this reason. But I stopped using those and started writing in my space around me because using those slows down the traction. Is that actually how it works, or is it what you've sewn for yourself? I have always been afraid to be seen as a beggar. And when I used them prolifically during the Deity series, people tried saying that it was proof that I'm a grifter and a con artist, using the gods to my advantage to make money. And is that what you were doing? I was capitalizing on the situation, but no. Then tell him to shut the fuck up. You see the thing here? People don't care about enforcing right and wrong. I mean, some people do, certainly. But trust the god of gossip when I say, a lot of people like weaponizing their complaining as a means to harm others. And this is something relevant to bring up now because finally people are talking about it. Yes, however, if I get too bold with those statements, it's now seen as dissent, and people are quick to cut out dissent. Is it dissent, or is it calling out bullshit for what it is? Now, we could have this back and forth all day, but we're running out of time. These also serve as theft prevention. And if a bot snags it anyway, it's your thingy that's up there dangling. All thoughts I've had before, thank you for validation. And now we need to replace the bills that were in that. Oh, hang on. Very well. Children's Tylenol, physical currency to put in that, and enough money to pay the rent. As well as enough to cover other things, that way I'm not pulling from rent money to cover the immediate necessities. Also, don't worry, we're not asking you, we're simply creating a task list. Now off we go! Comic book nerd. Queen Persephone! I've been taking some notes. Oh dear. Of my most recent videos, I did a little bit of math. I'm sorry, you're doing math? No offense. Oh, none taken. I'm problem solving. And working some statistics helps. Videos that utilize the hashtags of a deity's name perform worse. Videos where I point to a text box for the thingy perform worse. Videos longer than 3 minutes perform absolutely dreadfully. Now, this one is interesting. Deity interaction videos get more engagement, but fewer views. Info dumps are straight through the middle, unless they're longer than 3 minutes. And I might as well forget altogether making videos without hashtags. Impressive work. What does this data reveal, though? That the algorithm is fucked. And what makes it worse is that currently, without Wi-Fi, I'm unable to make longer form videos. And this is genuinely your only option right now. And I've learned that the best odds for this video and others like it is to use my usual hashtags and not deviate from the norm. And of Hermes' advice? It is appreciated, but here's the thing. I do things the way I do for a reason. Months and months of trial and error. And all due respect to Sonic's #1 fan, he hasn't been. Do you think Hermes would like chili dogs? Can't say I've taken the time to ask him. I've listed all my woes recently. Time isn't on my side. And I'm tired of the series of unfortunate events I find myself in, and I would like to start writing my own story. Hermes was right about one thing, though. This is my art. I've got these videos down to a science. A formula that ebbs and flows. There could be time passed between takes, just like that one. And that one. I could use the bathroom, take my time, and none would be the wiser. Sort of like what you just did. That's beside the point. This is an art form that I don't see many other people performing. And I did it all on my own, albeit with some inspirations from other things. I'm proud of myself for being able to do something that is genuinely me. I just wish I could make a living off of it. I don't want my hopes and dreams and desires to be pipe dreams. And so long as it isn't working, all of the people that told me I couldn't do it were right. Now here I am drawing up statistics trying to figure out how I'm gonna make this work, which runs the risk of sucking the soul and the fun out of it. But I honestly don't know how much longer I can keep living my life this way. And in my desperation, I have forgotten what I said a few videos ago, that I feel as if proximity to you is how I'm gonna get answers. So deity hopping really isn't your MO anymore? I don't know, maybe. But definitely not when I've got so little time to waste. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. If you're gonna hang around, you might as well talk. Greetings, mortal companion. Oh, King Belial! Yes? You said the thing weird, I had to be certain. Greetings, my mortal companion. I've been going back over the Deity series, and that's why I've been sniffing around. Care to go down memory lane? I need a cigarette. I had just gotten done watching Doctor Who. The end of Capaldi's arc. They were stuck on a civilization ship. The Doctor and the Mistress were at one end, near the event horizon of a black hole. So time is moving differently for Bill and the Cybermen at the other end. Hospitals have always made me uncomfortable. Hospital horror is real, and the infirmaries of Doth felt a lot like the infirmaries on that ship. You had a dream during that period, where you were in one of these infirmaries and witnessed someone being turned effectively into an infernal cyber person. Did I make it up? Rather, did somebody make it up for me? There are many things in the void that are incomprehensible. I think that is how your mind was comprehending things. That was also the situation that redirected me to Zeus. I thought you had asked Akati to keep demons out. So you are watching my content. That's very telling. You always said that we tell on ourselves. When you stop holding space for pomp and pretension, the divine become a lot less spectacular. Thank you for the cigarette. Recently I have deduced that Persephone didn't redirect me to Lilith. She did in fact send me to Hecate. At some point there was a switcheroo. After my time in Doth, you also had sent me to Hecate. And that was when the switch had happened. Did you send me to Lilith? Did you let her in? Does my answer particularly matter? It does, actually. I have a hard time trusting you. And what I suspect is that there is more going on here. And that is why I've been sniffing around, because I don't know what you're going to do next. Well, it sure shit isn't going to be another Deity series. Because even if I did attempt, it wouldn't be fucking worth it. My content doesn't have nearly the traction that it once did. That would make any such effort worthwhile. I need my life to get better. And relying on others has gotten me fucking nowhere. In fact, it's gotten me here. It is up to me to figure this out. So you tell me, what do you think I am up to? Removing obstacles in the least messiest way. Are you an obstacle or are you helping me remove them? Ethan. Damn it. Are you well? No. You know how this goes. Yes, ma'am, I'm already on it. Come thou propitious to our libations. Oh, it's been a while. I see you used my infernal invocation. It's always been a surefire way to get you. I don't like that I let Billy all through, but I understand why you asked. How do you feel about Fireball? It's one of my favorites, you know this. I'm sorry, Hecate, but also thank you. What's going on? I feel like I've explained this already. What else is going on? Let me grab my smokes. You want to know what I miss, Hecate? What's that, dear? This here is what I miss. I recognize that image. As you should. Many a video started that way. Right off the back porch looking over the backyard. But wait, there's more. Okay. There's this one from when I first moved into that place. I even posted it on Instagram. And I think both images are in an Instagram compilation dedicated to you. And may I ask why that is? This video probably won't get very far, so I'm willing to overshare just a little bit. I used to live off of one of the Great Lakes of our nation, spend a lot of time at the various beaches across the shore, and I had a favorite spot where I'd watch the sunrise. Get up when it's still dark, walk my happy ass down there. If I timed it right, I'd arrive at twilight, when the sun has not yet risen, but the sky is lightening up and everything is purple. That shade of purple I associate with you. Come to find out years later you're associated with that time of day and that time of evening. The in-between times where it is neither here nor there. Precisely. And images like the ones that I showed, it reminds me of the times where I could just get away. Be by myself. And when I lived at the place where those images were taken, I was exactly that. And a part of me misses it. I long for it. That feels a little telling since a lot of bad happened there. What should be telling of that is that in spite of the bad, it still feels better than where I'm at now. I didn't know it was that bad. It's not always easy informing the general public that you're contemplating the end. I had plenty of things then that I don't have now. Wi-Fi, freedom, solitude. And although it wasn't ideal, I could afford everything that I needed. And even though I didn't have transportation, I could walk to get everything I needed. And although I freaked out then about how broke I was then, I am even in more dire straits now. Which makes me feel like I didn't appreciate it when I had it. And that's what a lot of this is about. Getting back on my own 2 feet. This used to pay the bills. And even though I wound up being only able to afford ramen and chicken gizzard, I could afford Marlboro Reds. I could afford my preferred liquors. This and that are items that my roommates bought. And I loathe myself for the fact that I have to live off of others. And for as low as I felt then, I feel even lower now. I wish I knew what to say. So say nothing. Enjoy this drink with me. And if you would be willing and able, help me figure out how I can get back to good. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Hello there. Must admit, I didn't expect any of this. Really now. Because somebody dropped me $30, saying treat yourself, with a bottle emoji and a stogie emoji, followed by an Ave Samael. Thank you, by the way, if you're seeing this. Getting more comfortable with the fourth wall, I see. Let's get you out of the mirror. Care to share? Thank you. I admire your hospitality. So I assume you're already aware. You've been going back over the Deity series. Would you be willing to go down memory lane with me? Publicly. With pleasure. You are a part of the original roster, alongside Belial, Persephone, and Hades. Indeed I was. May I ask for another? Of course you may. To those who ever have, and ever will support my channel, concurred. Now remind me, where did I leave off? My involvement in the Deity series. Yes, thank you. You're a part of the original roster. Things were going smoothly for the most part. I mean, anything like that is going to have its kinks, but I digress. And the way that I translate your energy always is a little Tom Ellis, with just a dash of David Bowie. I am a fan of the DC variations of myself. Yes, of course, and thank you. But I had spent some time working with you before that. However, that means I clocked your energy. And hindsight is 20/20. That is the frank reality of it. But you know that. Then the Paimon incident. That's when everything got wibbly wobbly. Wibbly wobbly, you say? Continuity errors. Duly noted. That jacket that you're wearing is not the same one from the Deity series. I threw that one away. That one I bought for about $5 from Goodwill. The things from behind the scenes unravel from the seams. Precisely. Which is how I knew that when the accent as well as the eye filter changed, I was no longer talking to Samael, but a different Lucifer. Well then, quite frankly, I'm not sure what to say to that. Then say nothing, but answer me this. Problem or solution, which are you? There are some things I'll never be able to share here. Does that indicate that you've hit a roadblock? You could say something like that. In this series so far, I've revisited a few faces that were present during the Deity series. Lilith was first, then Hecate, naturally yourself. Zeus came up, then Belial and Samael. Next would be Asmodeus and Paimon. But I've got no interest in reaching out to Ashmodai. But there's two things with King Paimon. One, I don't feel like going back over the Paimon incident. And two, courtesy of that, as well as what I've been up to, I don't want to give him access to my head. I could reach out to Aries, but in a time like this, I need to maintain a level head. And let's just say I've got my own personal issues with Aphrodite. There's another interesting thing where, about a year ago, Duke Astaroth was hanging around, made a video with me claiming that they pretended to be you during the Deity series. And the only reason that I can trust it enough to attempt to see how far I can throw it is because back in 2022, and even 2021, I had seen several times a likeness of yourself, Your Majesty, where Duke Astaroth's sigil was emblazoned upon the sternum. Suffice it to say, those instances probably weren't yourself. And why do I need to reach out and potentially make a video when I could simply just make mention of it, much like I did just now? And I take it that means you've saved the most pertinent for last. I just watched this movie. Renfield is in a toxic relationship with Dracula. Although it is non-romantic, the movie's biggest premise is Renfield getting out of that relationship. And let's just say it made me think a lot about my relationship with King Hades. Which brings me back to, there are a lot of things that I just can't say here. The community doesn't like it when you speak ill of one of the golden gods. And let's just say, near the beginning of this playlist, I'm making a video where I'm talking to myself in the mirror. Before I started doing the interaction videos again, and the mirror version of myself suggested that the reason that my Hades videos don't take off would then indicate a possibility that someone or something has blocked him from me. And the leading candidate is you. And for damn good reason. And I don't have to ask. I've got a laundry list of damn good reasons. And given that I have repeatedly made excuses for him, in spite of everything that has happened, I could see why that would be motivation to think something like that would be necessary in order to keep me safe. Which leaves me with one question. Yes, I did. And you do in fact already know why. So reaching out to him and making space would undo some of the progress that we've made. If not all of it. I think the question now is, what do we do now to keep moving forward? Would you be my patron? I'm sorry? Is it the shirt? No. Is it the mirror? What? No, I mean, maybe a little bit. How is it you say, I have a confusion? About me asking you to be my patron? Yes, that. Oh, let me explain then. Videos like this one are not performing well, which tells me it's time to pack it in. And I want to leave this off on my terms. Sounds very wise to me. Also, I've still got a deadline, which means I need to focus on making money. And courtesy of a few generous supporters, I've been able to get caught up on a couple of things. Thank you, by the way. However, short of $3,000 falling into my lap, I don't know how we're gonna pay this month's rent and get caught up. Cause even if everybody in my house landed a job today, we still wouldn't be able to cover it. And things have gotten a lot better since you've been helping out. But other complications have come up. Such as? I've got a new transportation schedule with my kid this year, which means I need to get the brake pads replaced on the vehicle. My kitten is at the age where he's about to start spraying, which means we're going to need to get him fixed sooner than later. We have yet to be able to establish Wi-Fi in the house, which means at least for now, this is my only source of revenue. Your phone. I mean, yes, technically, however, more specifically, your audience. I mean, more specific than I was gonna go, but yes, thank you all again, by the way. You mean this platform. Did you just Goldilocks me? First one was too loose, the second one was too tight, and the third one is just right. Why yes, that is exactly what I did. Aside from all of this, if you're watching over me, you can see what I'm up to. We can work together to figure something out. And with the last video that I did, you will be able to see the way that things play out. So you are also asking for help. Oh, I'm asking for a lot of help. I'm asking for help with finances. I'm asking for help with justice. I am asking for help getting out of the cycles that have been kicking my ass for the last 12 some odd years. And my brother was directly behind you that one time you freaked out on me. Yes, and I'm sorry about that. I understand things a lot better now. Thank you, I forgive you. But I never held it against you to begin with. Because I am seeing exactly what you are pointing at. Even though I'm asking you to basically help fix my life. Your life wouldn't be so fucked up if I had listened to you sooner. Thank you. Wasn't expecting that one. You need help. You believe I can. And I don't intend on letting you down again. I was expecting you to snap your fingers there, But I remember that you snapped your fingers earlier, and that is exactly where I want you to place the thingy. Please and thank you.